I'm not surprised.
Am I connected? Am I not connected?
Quiet time when there's only like a minute left. All right, let's see if I remember how to do all of this.
All winter.
Going to call to order the Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 meeting of the Planning Commission. Can all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Kristen, can you do roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bartis?
Here.
Commissioner Dolan?
Here.
Chair Kempner?
Here.
Commissioner Stapp?
Here.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Here.
Commissioner Arnsman?
Here.
And Commissioner Wood said he would not be able to make it this evening.
And we don't have to excuse him anymore.
That's right.
All right, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda has been approved. Approval of the minutes of November 25th, 2025. Any changes or motions?
No changes for me.
Then a motion?
Motion to approve minutes from November 25th,
Second.
2025.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Communications.
There was one email for the public, one of the public hearings later this evening, but other than that, you just have your regular mailings from the Michigan Association of Planning.
Thank you. Citizens' comments. This is for items that are not on the agenda, and you will have time to address agenda items during the meeting when we get to that agenda item. For any comments, we ask that you come to the podium, state your name and city of residence, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. The Planning Commission will not engage you in conversation, but will be noting your comments and will try to address them during the discussion. Do I have any citizen comments for things that are not on the agenda tonight? Okay, moving on. Public hearing for the capital improvement plan. Do we have a presentation? Okay, perfect.
Well,
Walk up here and present.
yes, this is Ryan Shaw. He's our Deputy Finance Director. So he's here tonight on behalf of the Finance Department. As you'll recall, this is your yearly opportunity to review the capital improvement plan. The Michigan Zoning Enabling Act requires the Planning Commission to approve the capital improvement plan before it's forwarded on as part of the budget to the City Council. Generally, the things you're looking for are if the city was proposing a new park or something like that, does it conform with the future land use map and what's laid out in the master plan? Since we're a built-out city, almost all of our capital improvement projects really are focused around rebuilding infrastructure like water mains and things like that, and new vehicle purchases. So it's a little bit different than it might be in a community that's still developing some greenfields. But I will turn it over to Ryan. He can give you just some highlights.
Yep, yeah, Kristen kind of nailed it there. So yeah, this is our capital improvement plan. I'm the Deputy Finance Director, and Carl and I are the Finance Director. We've been putting this together for last month, and the city's been working on it for multiple months. Every department pitches in. So yeah, so what is a capital improvement plan, or capital improvement program? We often call it capital improvement plan, but it's a multi-year planning document that outlines the city's future capital improvement spending. budgets for things like roads, infrastructure, facilities, equipment. So our CIP plan covers 6 years, but only the first 3 years are adopted into our budget. The remaining 3 are just used as sort of like a long-term forecast. And you'll kind of see there at the bottom, if you look at the totals, the out years, as I like to call them, the totals for those 3 years are much higher than our first 3 years. And that's mainly because during the budget process, things kind of get pushed out and readjusted and come back to later. So they kind of just serve as, hey, these are out here. We will figure out how we're going to structure them when they get within the 3 years. So for the first year, which is the most important year, the upcoming budget year, 26-27, some projects of note. We have the Bacon Avenue water main and paving project. That is the largest project in year 1. That's $3.3 million. The lead line replacement program. It's $1 million annually. It's required by the state. Yeah, I mean that is one of the things that's kind of a big part of our CIP plan, unfortunately. The sewer line replacement program, another $600,000 annually. So those 3 right there are like over half of the spending in year 1, which is just over $8 million, I think 8.1. And then so upcoming is the Harvard Road Phase 2. That's $3.7 million over years 2 and 3. So that was Division 1 of Phase 2, and then Division 2 of Phase 2, another 3.7 over years 3 and 4. The Wakefield water main and paving, Phase 3, again, Divisions 1 and 2, that's $4.5 million spread over years 4 and 5. And then lastly, the Coolidge paving project, which is a really big one, that's $12 million, and those are in years 5 and 6. So those are really the big items that take up the majority of the CIP plan. Those are the big infrastructure items of note. And then again, like none of this spending has been approved yet, unless it was approved last year, that is. But this is just mainly confirming that the plan aligns with the city's goals.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions?
These last 3 years from 2029 to 32, are those things that if they're approved are certain going to take place within that 3 years, or could they be pushed further as well?
Yeah, no. I mean, the council approves the 3-year budget. It's more of like just saying, hey, I mean, DPW is, in charge of these big infrastructure projects, and they will put those on there, say, hey, these are coming up. I would assume that they follow this for the big infrastructure projects, pretty tightly. But the first 3, whatever council approves is what the city is going to appropriate for spending.
And I can add something to that. A lot of times when we apply for grants, they need to see that those projects are in this plan. So sometimes they get pushed out to further years in order to allow us to apply for grants.
Anyone else? All right, then I will open the public hearing at 7:07. Do I have anybody who would like to come and speak on this topic? Y'all are like, no, this is boring stuff. All right, seeing no one coming, I will also close it. Oh, I'll close it at 7:08. All right, motions, thoughts, discussions? Not that we have much to discuss about it, but.
Is this a recommend for approval?
No, we just approve it, right?
Yep,
Approve it?
approve.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the capital improvement plan as presented.
Thank you.
Second?
Can this be an all in favor?
Sure can.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Capital improvement plan is approved. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, moving on. Public hearing PRZ 0126 2429 Sunny Knoll Avenue.
So I'm going to give a longer intro to this first one, and then for each thereafter, I'll talk about what the existing and proposed zoning is, but really the background is the same for each and every one of these. So as you all know, we approved an updated zoning ordinance and zoning map about a year ago now. And as we've been using the zoning ordinance and working our way through the zoning map, as expected, there are a few things that were missed that we're trying to clean up and make sure are accurate. You've seen a couple versions of those minor changes as part of the zoning ordinance. This is the zoning map change. As we've been looking at it, Kim Anderson in our office has gone through every single property because it has to be recoded in our permitting software. And so she has been able to pick out just a handful when we did the mass rezoning that were given the wrong zoning designation. So in the case of these residential properties, as you recall, we went from 4 single-family residential districts down to 2. Our R1A and R1B became R1AB, and then R1C and R1D became R1CD. And those were largely based on the size of the lots, the lot width, and the lot area. So as part of that, there were a couple that were given the wrong designation, and we're coming before you this evening to correct those, because if they are left as the designation that should not have been placed on them to begin with, then should a property owner want to do an addition, or if perhaps there was some sort of natural disaster or fire on the property, that property would have been considered non-conforming because it wouldn't meet the standards of the district it was zoned, and the property owner would run into issues with rebuilding or additions, etc. So we want to make sure that the lot size and the lot width match the zoning designation that was originally intended. So you have a whole list of them this evening. The 2429 Sunny Knoll is currently zoned R1AB, and that we're proposing to rezone to R1CD, and that matches the lot area and width requirements of the R1CD district. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Just as background, all of the property owners did receive a mailing from me explaining the circumstance and why the city was initiating this rezoning.
Do you know what it originally was zoned as? Was it originally zoned as a C or?
I believe it was a C,
Okay.
but I can try to go backwards and figure that out.
I thought
while
that
you're
area
talking.
was, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
think it
oh,
was a
that's kind of
C.
weird that it flopped like that, but.
And this is a change, but it's a change only to what it should have been in the first place.
Right. Yes. If you look at the zoning map as a whole, you'll see that these stick out as 2 pale yellow pieces in a sea of darker yellow.
Okay. And it really is just right sizing it so they can utilize the property as they should be able to utilize the property. as
Correct. We
opposed to
don't-
being constricted.
Yep, we don't want to make these properties non-conforming.
Does anybody else have any other questions? All right. I'm going to open the public hearing for 2429 Sunny Knoll. For all the public hearings, if you come up to speak, it's 3 minutes. Please state your name and at least city of residence, but if it's your home, you're welcome to let us know that too. And let us know what's on your mind. Does anybody want to come speak about 2429 Sunny Knoll? Okay. Opened and closed at 7:12. Discussion?
No, this seems like an administrative adjustment to the zoning map, so no comments from me.
Agreed.
Okay,
Me too.
then motion?
Motion to recommend approval to the city council in the matter of, do you have to read the whole thing or just the address?
You actually should read the whole thing.
Okay. TRZ dash 01 dash 2429 Sunny Knoll Avenue.
And that should be enough, right? We're not putting any conditions or anything. You have enough for the motion? Oh, no, you have
No.
to say all the good things.
Yeah,
Never
all
mind.
of the reasons and
I told you
considerations.
it's been a while.
I printed it all out from the
Well, then
that.
let's do it. To recommend approval to the city council of the city-initiated rezoning of the property from R1AB single-family residential to R1CD single-family residential district with the following findings per section 18.04 of the zoning ordinance. One, that the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies, and the City of Berkley Master Plan and all applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the downtown master plan. Two, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features, and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. The potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influence on property values. Next, there is adequate capacity in city infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the requested district. And finally, there is demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Do we have a second?
I second.
And we are all in agreement with the standards. I guess I forgot to go one by one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Want to call for the vote?
Commissioner Bartis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dolan,
Yes.
Commissioner Stapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan,
Yes.
Commissioner Arnsman,
Yes.
and Chair Kempner.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, moving on. Public hearing PRZ 0226-2431 Sunny Knoll.
This is the property adjacent to the previous proposed rezoning. Again, a rezoning from R1AB single family to R1CD for all of the reasons specified under PRZ 0126.
Thank you. Any questions before I open up the public hearing? I'm going to open the public hearing at 7:17. Does anyone want to come speak on 2431 Sunny Knoll? Okay, I will close it at 7:17. Discussion or motion?
I have a question.
Yes.
For each of these that are being rezoned to the same thing, can we have the public hearings and then make one motion on all of them, or do we have to make one?
You have to make a motion on each one.
Okay,
Is
all
it
right.
good,
It
guy?
was a good try.
Valid try.
I have another process question. Because
Yes.
they're rezoning, do they go to the ZBA or is it just strictly
Council,
council?
yes.
All right, so anyone got a motion?
I'll
Did
make
you-
a motion to recommend approval.
Commissioner Arnsman, I'm sorry, did I miss that you opened the public hearing, Chair Kempner?
7:17 and 7:17.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay. Make a motion for recommend approval. Let's see here, sorry. In the matter of PRZ-02-26 2431 Sunny Knoll Avenue. Motion to recommend approval of City Council of the city. Initiated rezoning from R-1AB, Single Family Residential District, to R-1CD, Single Family Residential District, with the following findings per section 18.04 of the zoning ordinance. 1, the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies in City of Berkeley Master Plan and all applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the Downtown Master Plan. 2, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features, and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. 3, the potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on the environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influence on property values. 4, there's adequate capacity in city infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the requested district. And 5, there is demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Second.
All right, you want to call them?
Commissioner Dolan?
Yes.
Commissioner Stapp?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Yes.
Commissioner Arnsman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bartis?
Yes.
And Chair Kempner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Moving on, PRZ 0326 2435 Sunny Knoll Avenue.
This is the same situation as the previous two rezonings. Rezoning from R1AB to R1CD for all of the reasons discussed under the previous cases.
Any questions or comments before I open the public hearing? Okay. I will open the public hearing at 7:21. Anybody here to speak on this one? I will also close it at 7:21. And discussion or a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval. In the matter of PRZ-03-26, 2435 Sunny Knoll Avenue, motion to recommend approval to the City Council of the city initiated rezoning from R-1AB, Single Family Residential District, to R-1CD, Single Family Residential District, with the following findings per section 1804 of the zoning ordinance. A, the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies, and City of Berkeley Master Plan and all applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the Downtown Master Plan. B, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features, and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. C, the potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on the environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influence on property values. D, there is adequate capacity in city infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the requested district. And E, there is demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Support.
Can you call the vote?
Commissioner Stapp?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Yes.
Commissioner Arnsman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bartis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dolan?
Yes.
And Chair Kempner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
We're on a roll.
All right. Public hearing, PRZ 0426 2437 Franklin Road.
This is again the same situation as we've been going through, R1AB to R1CD.
Questions? So for this one and the next one, I'm just gonna go to the public hearing. If you have a question, yell out. All right, I'm going to open the public hearing at 7:23. Does anybody want to come up and speak on this one?
I live there, but I don't have anything to say.
All righty.
Just for clarification, did I understand?
Can I,
I'm sorry. It's not on this issue. I just, because I've got another one that I'm waiting for. Did I understand you correctly that you guys aren't taking Q&A about a particular parcel that's under consideration? Because that's really the reason I came, just to.
so what we do is you have your 3 minutes to come and list your questions and thoughts and whatever. We generally don't do it back and forth. You get done, and then in the process of our discussion, we try and answer that question if we have the answers for that question.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yes. So I'm gonna close the public hearing at 7:24. Motions? Who hasn't taken a motion yet?
It's my turn.
Okay.
Just might as well get it out of the way. All right, so recommend approval for PRZ -04 -26 2437 Franklin Road. In the matter of PRZ -04 26 2437 Franklin Road, motion to recommend approval to the City Council of the city-initiated rezoning from R1 AB Single Family Residential District to R1 CD Single Family Residential District with the following findings per section 18.04 of the zoning ordinance. A, the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies, and City of Berkley Master Plan and all of the applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the downtown master plan. B, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features, and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. C, the potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and the zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on the environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influence on property values. D, there is adequate capacity in the city's infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the requested district. And E, there is demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Support.
Call the vote, please.
Commissioner Kaplan,
Yes.
Commissioner Ernstman,
Yes.
Commissioner Bartis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dolan,
Yes.
Commissioner Stapp,
Yes.
Chair Kempner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Public hearing PRZ 0526 2451 Franklin Road.
Same as all of the previous ones, R1AB to R1CD.
Okay. I'm going to open the public hearing at 7:27. Does anyone want to speak on this one?
We live there, but nothing to say for us either.
Okay. And I'll close it at 7:27.
I can do another one.
Alrighty.
Or do you want to?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going for a hat trick later. So. All right, motion to recommend approval of PRZ -05 -26 2451 Franklin Road to the City Council for the rezoning of the property from R1 AB to R1 CD with the following findings per section 18.04 of the zoning ordinance. 1, the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies, and City of Berkley Master Plan and all applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the downtown master plan. 2, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features, and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. 3, the potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on the environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influences on property values. 4, there is adequate capacity in city infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the requested district. And 5, there's demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Support.
Call the vote, please.
Commissioner Arnsman,
Yes.
Commissioner Bartis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dolan,
Yes.
Commissioner Stapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan,
Yes.
Chair Kempner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, public hearing, PRZ 0626 3170 11 Mile Road.
So this is a little bit different than the previous ones in that it's not proposed to be rezoned to residential, but this proposal for rezoning is before you for all of the same reasons as the residential properties that were just on the agenda. In this case, the rear 33.5 feet of 3170 11 Mile was zoned to R1CD, which is a single-family district. It's currently a parking lot that's part of the property there at 3170, part of the commercial use. It should have been zoned flex district, so we are correcting that this evening.
Thank you. Since it's slightly different, I'll ask if anybody has any questions. 1 second, I'll open up the public hearing in 1 second. Okay. Public hearing, I will open at 7:30.
Apologize.
No worries.
This is his property, and we were just hoping on extending the building further in the back, in the rear, that area. And I think just that R1CD was like giving us problems on being able to do that.
Gotcha.
So
Can you,
that's just what we're here for.
for the record, can you give us your name?
Cristela,
Thank you.
yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else?
So, my
Name?
name's Courtney. I live in Berkley here on Gardner, just a few houses north. Is that your machine shop there?
It's not, there's a restaurant right next
The Golden? Okay, so you're wanting to expand?
It was like barely just like to be close, barely, you know, like to use all season.
Can I?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can I just get you to like comment to us as opposed?
Yes, yes. But I was just curious what the flex thing entailed. I read a little bit about it in the, in the ordinance stuff, and I guess he almost answered my question. It's just going to expand and it's going to stay a parking lot, is what I was wondering, or if that parking lot area was going to change at all.
So that would be under a separate site plan application, but as I understand it, Golden Grill wants to expand a little bit, not as far back as the parking lot. That area will mostly remain a parking lot.
Yeah.
The flex district, if any of the properties on 11 Mile that are zoned flex district the buildings were to come down or they were to be redeveloped, there's certain setbacks and things that have to be met. This rezoning would allow them to continue to use it as a parking lot and become a conforming use, and then would allow that expansion to take place within the confines of the allowable setbacks. I have seen a plan that they're considering, and it's not coming close to the back of the property.
Yeah, okay, so there's not really much change that's going to happen.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Did you want to come up and talk?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just like with the child, like my English kind of broken, but like just on those spend, it was like period before, like same square feet is gonna be, and just it was like open. So I figured out to do like same square feet, just only to be to use all season because people like cold time, hot, everything upside. So I tried to make easy for people to get inside to stay warm.
Right.
That's all.
And just for the record, can we have your name?
Polly Palukai.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, I'm going to close it at 7:33. Discussion?
I think just for clarity, the rezoning is still based on the administrative change from the rewrite and not necessarily, right? This is still falling in line with the fact that it should have been
Yes.
flex, right?
Yes, it should, the
Right.
back 33.5 feet should have been flex, not
Right.
single family.
Okay.
Because it was 11 Mile or whatever that is
Yes.
right there.
Correct.
And it's been used as a parking lot, right? Just somewhere. Probably this is what started a lot of it going, oh, wait a second.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's,
But-
it's a line error that was
Yeah.
made on the map.
But as a, you know, as with our updated zoning, we very much made it to try and protect neighborhoods from businesses, to make sure that there's proper screening and trees and bushes and all of this good stuff, where before it was kind of meandering. We now say you have to have X many trees for however many feet and this many bushes, so that we have something that we can like enforce. Okay, and with that, does anybody have any more comments, questions, or motions?
Make a motion.
All right.
Well, I had a quick question. So any changes would have to go through a site plan type of.
Yes,
Type-
provided it didn't fall under the administrative review, which was a very
Okay.
small addition or changes to the facade.
Okay. Thanks.
It'd have to go through some sort of review.
Yes.
Whether it was administrative or before us.
Yes.
Yeah. I can make a motion.
All right.
In the matter of PRZ-06-263170, 11 Mile Road, motion to recommend approval to the City Council of the city-initiated rezoning from R1CD Single Family Residential District to Flex District with the following findings per section 18.04 of the zoning ordinance. A, the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies, and City of Berkeley master plan and all of the applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the downtown master plan. B, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. C, the potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on the environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influence on property values. D, there is adequate capacity in the city infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the restricted district, requested district. And E, there is demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Support.
Can I have a quick I have a quick question before we call.
Mm-hmm.
Is that parcel number the 33.5 feet?
It's one parcel.
I mean, because our approval just says the parcel, blah, 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 blah. And in our agenda, it says the rear 33.5 feet. Does it matter? Do we need to clarify that?
It would be nice to clarify it. I'm sorry about that error, but yes, it would be good to add that in.
Okay.
I don't have to read the whole thing again.
No, I'll just add that in.
How?
All right, so you're adding the rear 33.5?
Yeah, so, okay, so pre-pen that, all that I just said. And then, so this would be proposing to rezone the rear 33.5 feet of 3170 11 Mile Road.
And who was our second?
Support.
Okay, cool with that too. Okay.
Commissioner Bartis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dolan,
Yes.
Commissioner Stapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan,
Yes.
Commissioner Ernstman,
Yes.
Chair Kempner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Public hearing PRZ 0726 3180 11 Mile Road.
This is the exact same scenario as the case before.
All right.
Also the rear 33.5 feet.
I will open the public hearing at 7:38. Does anybody want to come speak on this one? I will close the public hearing at 7:38. Questions, discussions, or motions?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
There's no questions. All right, let me make sure I get this one right here. Sorry. In the matter of PRZ-07-26, 3180 11 Mile Road, proposing to rezone the rear 33.5 feet of said property. Motion to recommend approval to the City Council of the city-initiated rezoning from R-1CD, single-family residential district, to flex district, with the following findings per section 18.04 of the zoning ordinance. 1, the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies, and City of Berkeley master plan and all applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the downtown master plan. 2, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. 3, the potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on the environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influence on property values. 4, there's adequate capacity in city infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the requested district. And 5, there is demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Support.
You call the vote?
Yes. Commissioner Dolan?
Yes.
Commissioner Stapp?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Yes.
Commissioner Arnsman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bartis?
Yes.
Chair Kempner?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
And public hearing PRZ 0826 22-16-352-06. I guess that's the parcel number on the north side of Columbia, west of Woodward.
So this is the last of our group of rezonings. This one is a little bit different than all the rest. This is currently a parking lot, and the parking overlay was left off of this parcel. It was previously zoned parking district. So we are proposing to add the parking overlay so that that parking lot becomes a conforming use.
What is it? What is it zoned right now?
It's zoned single family right now,
And it used to be zoned parking.
parking. So if you'll recall, we took the parcels that were zoned parking, assigned them a single-family residential designation that matched mostly the adjacent single-family properties, and then added the parking overlay over it.
And it's a goofy little triangular.
It is odd, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
It's like an island within, it's parking within parking.
Looks like a nice 2 spots, so.
Yeah, lots and a half an aisle.
Think of the problems it could cause, though. If someone came in and that had to become a non-conforming use, and we had to do the whole special land use for a parking lot, and
Right.
For
it would
two
be,
spaces.
yeah.
Okay. Because this is a different one. Do we have any questions?
No.
I have one.
Sure.
Is the property then to the west?
That's parking overlay.
That's parking, okay,
Mhm.
okay,
It's just this little corner that
That
was
corner.
left off.
okay.
All right. I'm going to open the public hearing at 7:43. Does anybody want to speak on this one?
My name is Michael Cameron, and I live at 724 Columbia, which is parcel 024, the house on the other side of the brick wall of the parking lot. I would just like to make a clarification or have a reminder. I've been in this house since 1986. Over the years, 5 different businesses have wanted to redevelop this area. Blarney Stone, Bill Knapp's, McDonald's, Boston Market, Einstein Brothers. All 5 of those businesses wanted to close the alley. In the process of going before the zoning board, obviously all these, there never was a McDonald's, but they went before the zoning board to, see if it would happen. In all these cases, the public alley was kept open for public safety reasons. My interest is my garage does not face Columbia. My garage faces the alley. So I have a garage and a driveway that face the public alley, not the street. So if the public alley was ever closed, couldn't use my garage. So I noticed the triangle of land here actually is along the alley. So I just want to confirm that any change that is made would not enable someone to close the alley as it sits right now. Obviously, if somebody else came up before the zoning board and had a proposal to make a change, that would be a different issue. But I just want to make sure that this change does not do anything to limit access to the public alley.
Gotcha. What is the process if somebody wanted to close the public alley?
So this change does not do anything to limit the access to the public alley or to close it. If someone wanted to close the public alley, they would have to propose that the alley be vacated, and that would have to be approved by the city council.
And as I said, the previous owners or people that proposed to buy the property were proposing to either close the alley at Columbia or basically in the middle of the block. Okay, so like, for example, McDonald's wanted to put a wall in the middle of the block for a drive-through. So I realize so I know if another development happens, it has to go through that process. I just want to make sure that as things sit right now, so nobody could block the alley.
Correct. As things sit right now, and even if a development came in, they would have to go through the regular site plan process, but they'd also have to go through a separate process to close the alley.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm that I can still get to my garage.
Valid.
Thank you.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate, the parking overlay for all of you who are watching at home, it's just like a little layer that allows something to be a parking lot. Like the underlining zoning is usually single family, and it was with the idea that some of that, if a developer chose to buy a house that someone chose to sell, they would have an easier time making it a parking lot as opposed to having to jump through the hoops to rezone it. But beyond that, everything else stays the same, right? Like you still have to have the same amount of parking numbers for whatever business it is. You still have to have the landscaping and all of you can't close an alley. So it's just a little thing that makes it a little bit easier for them to turn something into a parking lot. Any other thoughts, discussions, questions? Oh, sorry. I did not close public hearing yet. And I do does anybody else want to speak on that? Okay. And then I have an email. It says, I'm very excited to see the vacant building will once again be in use. Wait, that's for this one, right?
Yes.
Yes. However, I am concerned with the parking that may be needed. The building was last used for a wedding boutique that had minimal use of parking. How will this rezone affect the patrons of each business? We already see a spillover of parking out of the parking lots from the bars. How will this affect our ability to park on the street with additional patrons? I am also concerned with the lack of maintenance that has been seen over the years. Will the owners of the property be held responsible for better maintenance to improve the parking space? Okay. I will close the public hearing at 7:48. And as to this email, pretty much nothing is changing than it sits right now. We are just administratively correcting a mistake that we made when we made our zoning map.
Correct. And I did respond to that email to let her know.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. Discussions or motions? Who hasn't made everyone's made a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to recommend approval.
Run the horn again.
Yep. In the matter of PRZ-08-26, parcel number 25-16-352-026, motion to recommend approval to the City Council of the city-initiated rezoning from R-1 CD, single-family residential district to flex district with the following findings per section 18.04 of the zoning ordinance. A, the rezoning is consistent with the goals, policies, and City of Berkeley Master Plan and all applicable sub-area and corridor studies, including the downtown master plan. B, the rezoning is compatible with the site's physical, geological, hydrological, and other environmental features, and with the potential uses allowed in the proposed district. C, the potential uses allowed in the proposed zoning district are compatible with the surrounding uses and zoning in terms of land suitability, impacts on the environment, density, nature of use, traffic impacts, aesthetics, infrastructure, and potential influence on property values. D, there is an adequate capacity in city infrastructure and services to accommodate the uses permitted in the requested district. And E, there is a demonstrated need for the types of uses permitted in the requested zoning district in the city in relation to the amount of land in the city currently zoned to accommodate the demand.
Support.
And can you call for the vote?
Yes. Commissioner Stapp?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Yes.
Commissioner Ernstman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bartis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dolan?
Yes.
Chair Kempner?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. And these will all be forwarded on to the City Council at the second meeting in March.
And are they gonna have to go one by one?
Yep. I'll tell them it took you guys about 40 minutes.
Tell them we say hello when you do it.
All right. And then discussion of potential zoning ordinance amendment to regulate data centers.
Michelle Marin is here this evening to go over that with you.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have prepared data center regulations. Everybody's getting data center regulations, not just the townships. We're getting them in the cities,
And I just want to add, we haven't had anyone approach us. We're just trying to get ahead of the
which is
curve.
exactly the correct thing to do. So just as a background, since CWA does work in a lot of communities, we have together worked to craft data center regulations and then modify it per community as needed. But we wanted to use the collective brain. We have a lot of people with more experience in this. We have a planner who works in Saline Township. A planner who worked in Lyon Township was able to also get their eyes on our regulations. So, and in both cases, those communities have data centers that are approved and being constructed because it was found that they are permitted by right in their existing zoning regulations, and they didn't know. And so that's the harm of not defining and regulating data centers. It's not an invitation per se. It's a way to craft fair regulations so that a data center applicant can't say, well, it fits within processing or warehousing or some other listed use that we have, which would likely be in the flex district. So that's why it's included on its own little use, and we've created different scales for it based on the intensity. Obviously, we're not going to be expecting huge data centers in Berkeley, but who knows what's happening with technology? I mean, and frankly, a lot of these buildings they project are going to be obsolete in 10 years anyway, so that makes decommissioning a big concern. But we're just trying to get ahead of everything and really use the energy and water consumption mostly as a way to define it. Because data center might not even encapsulate everything we're thinking of. We're talking about high resource demand facilities, period, that have some type of computing use. And so with the draft regulations, you see the different scales. They were meant to all be approved with special approval use if it's a principal use data center. For accessory data centers, most of them also have to go through the special approval use process with a few exceptions, and that would be based on the site size in the flex district. As you know, you have a site design-based zoning code, and so it's determined by the site types. Beyond that, there are recommended regulations for design, for performance standards, and then we have some operational and decommissioning requirements. This is just the initial discussion. I welcome feedback, absolutely. This is not a public hearing, so no decision is being made. Interested to see what you all think. I'm happy to answer specific questions, but I don't want to get too in the weeds if you don't want me to.
A first couple of questions. One, can we just say we don't want them at all?
No.
Okay.
That would be exclusionary zoning, and then you might end up with it anyway by consent judgment or some other type of legal action.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like giving specifics so nobody can loophole in.
And with these regulations, do we have a property that would fit these regulations? Or
Not a vacant one, certainly.
right, but
Yes.
there would be a property that
Yes.
could fulfill this if the
Yes.
stars aligned properly.
And if there wasn't, if this was crafted in a way to not fit any property, then that would be exclusionary zoning too. So it was crafted with the site, the parcels in the flex district essentially in mind.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, you said that within 10 years, it's expected a lot of the data centers to be closed. Why is that?
So I've heard that they're all going to be in satellites because you don't have to pay for cooling and you have solar power anyway. I mean, you know, it's mostly power. Data centers, because of the AI boom, are largely speculative at this point, and so there's not a lot of proof of financial viability long term. There's a lot of economic incentives at the state, and that's driving a lot of this development in Michigan.
So so a large data center is gross floor area greater than 20,000 square feet, electrical demand greater than 3 megawatts, or use of water exceeding 25,000 gallons per day. So that's a large.
Mm-hmm.
And then small is anything of those three categories, smidget smaller?
Smidget smaller, yep.
Okay. And then what's the difference between a small and accessory data center, incidental and subordinate to?
There would have to be a principal permitted use on the site that the accessory data center is an accessory to. It couldn't be the principal use.
For context, how, like the ones that, I know I've heard about the one in Saline, I haven't heard about the one in Lyon Township. Are those considered large data centers
Yes,
by a lot more?
a lot more.
Okay.
Millions of square feet.
Wow.
Like the size of our city.
Like, I guess would the accessory include like if a business needed a server room, something like that, like.
Have you been talking to Kristen? Yes. So in the definition, it explicitly says it does not include accessory server rooms that
Oh,
are.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That would no. Don't be sorry. That was inserted because it was vague before.
Okay.
How's parking normally handled for the large or
I don't think
small?
there's many people that work in the data center, is
It's not a long-term job creator by any
IT,
means.
yeah, parking.
And with the lot coverage that the lot coverage maximum, they're gonna meet their parking, no problem. It's a construction job creator more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as a special use, say you get an application as a special use, you can absolutely make limits on construction parking because that's really where the parking's gonna come into play with that specific site.
Will we also have a parking standard for it?
It would just be, I mean, we haven't written a unique parking standard for it. We
Or
certainly,
what would we put it under? If one were to come, let's say,
There's probably
right?
some sort of trip generation chart based on size for these things.
And do remember that the planning commission can pick a similar use and look at the
it'd be like
information that
warehouse
the
use
applicant,
for parking.
I would think warehouse would fit too,
Yeah.
that the applicant presents to determine what the parking standard should be.
Non-storefront warehouse kind of thing.
Have other communities of similar size and built outness?
Mhm.
That's a word, but, to Berkeley, have they implemented very similar, you mentioned there's some people, your company that have done larger ones, but has like Clausen been looking at this, or Ferndale, or?
I don't know of the communities that we work in, the cities that have at the very least have draft regulations that they're working on, to my knowledge, are Wixom and East Tawas. And I don't work for IPSI, but I'm on the planning commission in IPSI, just like you. And we're looking at data center regulations as well, as a built-out city.
This is pretty new. I think I'm sure you guys know, a lot of communities, if you've been paying attention to the news, were caught a little bit flat-footed. And so we're trying to make sure that doesn't happen, even though it's not extremely likely that we will see something like this, just to get out in front of things. We could add a parking standard if you all wanted to add a parking standard. There is a general standard for manufacturing establishment or processing facility. It's 1 per 750 square feet. Seems like that fits in there.
I guess I don't feel so strongly about the parking. I just, the division line between large data center and small data center, I think, is like the meat of what we gotta consider. And
I guess I'll be honest when I say I don't understand a whole lot about data centers, right? So what is a small data center? Like,
Per our definition, it's just based on the size and the energy generation.
so it's
Or the
less
energy
than
consumption.
20,000 square feet.
Yep. And that can absolutely be adjusted. If you like, what I can do is pick out sites, like specific parcels, and show how, following all the other like site design requirements, what parcels a large data center would fit on, just to provide a visual. And if we're like, well, that's way too many places that allow a large data center, then we can make the thresholds different.
Is a small data center a thing? I mean, because like what I hear about in the news, there are always these gigantic
right.
ones, right? So is a small one even a thing?
I have a sense that they have to be really big to probably be economically feasible.
Absolutely. It's not really a thing, but it could be. So the last data center panel I was at, which was filled with data center developers,
But it's very riveting discussion.
they definitely emphasize that they're not really going into built-out cities because it's so much easier to construct on big greenfield sites. However, we really want to get out ahead of this because who knows what pressures are going to come next. And like Kristen mentioned, these economic incentives in the past year have made this a huge concern, and so we don't know what other incentives or what industry pressures are going to evolve the landscape.
Is there some sort of like proximity to how close they can be to housing?
Yeah, that's a great
Yes.
question.
Yes, so we do have just the setbacks. If you're in the site design, there's it talks about the setbacks from property lines. We can include setbacks from residential structures as well. We've done that in other communities, no problem. All right,
Yeah.
Yeah,
100
I think
feet.
That would be really
Are
just
they-
throwing that out there.
Are they noisy? Is there a hum coming from them or anything?
right.
Noise is one of the biggest concerns.
All right.
Just mostly from the generators because these things cannot
So we
lose
should
power.
add that. Can we add that in, like some decibel?
So we are working on, you all didn't see this, but it went to the city council last night, an amendment to our noise ordinance. It's in the city code, and it does include decibel levels. And I should say, Carlisle Wortman originally had noise standards in here, but since we're adding decibel levels to ours,
We don't need to.
yes.
That's cool.
So in this, we're allowing small data centers by right and large or a special land use.
In both small and large, they're special land use. Accessory is mostly a special land use, but in some of the larger sites in the flex, it's permitted by right. That's just accessory. it's a principal use, not permitted.
Okay.
So because this was weird to do because the use groups and the site design or the site type determine whether something's special or permitted. So if you go to the different districts where this is permitted, the downtown, the flex, the whatever, you can see the sites that correspond to it, and that's how you'll know that a principal use data center is special land use. It's not permitted by right.
Okay.
Only some flex district accessory.
So, okay, everything else would be a special land use.
Correct.
I don't even know how you do this. So when we're talking about the higher than typical demands on water and water, really infrastructure is what I'm thinking of. I figure they're electrical. They probably have to navigate with DTE on their own. But for water, that's a big issue for us, especially along the flex district.
Well, you could argue so would be if you put a huge structure in, they're, taking up a ton of impervious area, so that it's, a hardship on our sewer system.
Which we could handle in the special land use process.
And they would have to put in stormwater detention if they were redeveloping a site.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's over an acre or half an acre.
Yeah, it's
It's a lot.
I think it's a quarter of an acre now or a
Is
third
it
of an
a quarter?
acre. Yeah.
Not that this would be an issue here, but what have other communities done about the proximity of different data centers to each other?
So for example, one township that I work in, they did an overlay district, and they just selected 3 distant sites in the township, and in those 3 areas, that's where data centers of any type are permitted with special use. And those sites were selected not necessarily because they were far away from each other. They're selected for one's a superfund site, a few different reasons, but I haven't seen any buffers from each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That wouldn't be a bad consideration, though.
I like that idea too, yeah.
Yeah, just so we don't have 11 mile every other property data center.
Would it be helpful to have the map that Michelle was talking about that would correspond to the small and large and where they could go for this?
Yes.
Probably would.
Very helpful, yeah.
Great. This is not a big rush. I mean, we can keep discussing this. We don't have to have an amendment.
What if something came
The
in,
next
though?
meeting.
Like, what if something came in tomorrow?
Then we'd have to find a use that it's most similar to, and
That's it.
we would be in a space that a lot of other communities are in.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we have less pressure than those bigger communities.
Yeah, that would be
It
shocking.
doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it'd be very economically feasible to come to Berkeley and try to.
We don't have any
this.
properties available that would fit a large one right now, anyway, do we?
There's no real, it would have to be adaptive reuse, and there's just no economic reason for them to really do that right
Right.
now, because it's so much cheaper with these incentives to build anew.
So we have some time to
Yeah.
sort through this.
Definitely.
Right.
As far as it seems like parking, infrastructure, noise, those are our standard site plans. Like one typically we don't get is like health concerns. Does that ever come up about? I don't know. I'm assuming it's not like radiation or anything, but if people get if there's how close to homes they would be.
Well, it does indirectly come up in zoning, and so I would contend that noise standards, just the ones in the general code, are probably enough in the case of Berkeley, but perhaps we could include some specifics about generator testing, because they might think that they don't have to comply with those regulations, and also there's different frequencies that are not mentioned in the normal zone ordinance
Just
that
like
may,
A dull hum. you know?
exactly.
Like,
There's
it's not
vibrational
loud, but it's
concerns
really annoying.
from generators.
Or only your
yeah.
dog can hear it and barks 24 hours a day.
Exactly.
So maybe we add that in.
Certainly.
And I'm assuming like safety of, like health and safety, they must have plans for if they
Yeah, if there's a
blow up
fire.
or whatever. Yeah, or like if there's real concerns that our full-time staff folks have to review and handle and things of that nature.
Right. They're required to do an emergency response plan and coordinate with the local emergency responders, and, typical fire protection and handling of hazardous materials. That's all
Right.
addressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that type of stuff exists.
Right.
Mm.
They have to provide a hazardous materials management plan.
What else? They probably do. They don't have curbside deliveries or curbside accommodations that we generally sometimes think about that for site plans.
I don't think so.
Truck loading.
Truck
There's-
loading, unloading.
No,
Once the
no.
Servers are all there, they probably don't. have
Right.
a
They
lot
just
of-
Right?
They're
Stocking.
boring facilities, so.
yeah,
okay.
stocking the vending machine in the lab.
Right. Well,
Yeah, and I think like when we look at like where's the dumpster go, like, I mean
Mhm.
that's just typical site plan stuff.
Right.
That would be there if whatever they.
Mhm.
I would think it'd be more the
Required.
water usage, the electric usage, the low hum that drives you
Mhm.
Yeah.
nuts when you live next door to it.
All the other site plan requirements would, of course,
Same.
apply.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the landscaping and lighting,
Hmm.
all that good stuff. Something we did include here, which is different from the rest of the zoning ordinance, is 6 months of abandonment is when decommissioning must begin.
Again, that's because the general thought pattern in the industry is that these might just all go away in 10 years.
Right.
When they put them in the satellites.
Yeah, or 10 days. I've heard all kinds of things.
So it seems like a map would help, right? And like then we look at it more.
Yeah, so what I've heard is, well, a few different notes throughout, like, and I just added them as comments throughout. So they're there. But the big thing is that you want to see the specific parcels where the large and small data centers would fit to see if we do need to adjust those thresholds for a large data center.
Yeah.
Great. Happy to.
Any other questions or comments for now?
I'm just trying to envision where they would go and then like the master plan and like how that would.
It would have to be somewhere on 11 Mile, and like Michelle said, it would have to be an adaptive reuse. That's really all the spaces we have.
It seems like we're a picture group.
We're a picture, for sure. Pictures are great. So he couldn't go anywhere in Coolidge. It
Could
couldn't
it go anywhere in 12 Mile?
Yeah, I
Bowling
would
alley.
think so. I
I don't know if that's big enough.
don't think it's big enough.
we would be only allowing it in the flex district.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, the gateway. I mean,
Correct, yes. The accessory data centers would be allowed in other areas, but definitely not principal use.
But the accessory has to have a primary use
Yes.
anyways. Okay.
And then in here it says about perimeter security. Does that mean they have to be fully, like, enclosed around the building? So like a fence around them, or they don't require a fence? I'm not sure.
So let me just scroll to the exact portion. Why did I not put page numbers on the bottom of this? My apologies. Oh yeah. Quite honestly, some communities like having more security details, and some don't, particularly with the cameras. Up to you all how you want to handle it, but
Yeah, I
that
certainly wouldn't want want it to look like a prison.
Right, that's what,
Yeah.
kind of
Okay,
what
yeah.
I was envisioning, is
Right.
that it was gonna be like, yeah.
Well, it's a special land use, so it may include fencing walls or equivalent barriers 8 feet in height. You may decide. There is discretion built into that regulation so that it can not be prison-y, but also not be a glaring building. Which, I mean, as a site design-based district, there's design protections there anyway.
So it's abandoned if it ceases operations for 12 months, and then decommissioning must start 6 months after that.
1 second. Sorry. Correct.
And what is, offhand, do you remember, what do we consider abandoned in other uses?
Well, they have to have a valid rental, owner occupied or vacant property registration. So that comes up every year. So I would think that if this is an owner occupied property and it came up and they needed to renew and the owner was no longer occupying the property or renting it, they'd have to register as a vacant property. So that would be considered vacant in terms of the city's regulations, unless we wanted to put something else in here that specifically talks about and defines what is abandoned.
So, right now, a special land use, there is no time limit for when that use is considered abandoned. Like, wasn't that the issue with the gas station on 11 Mile?
Right, there's a point though where that was abandoning a non-conforming use, so that was a little bit different. The special land use runs with the land, but the person that comes in behind and wants to use that same special land use needs to be exactly the same as the one that was approved. So it may make sense to put a definition or standards in here to say this is what we mean by abandoned, rather than just relying on the vacant property registration, because that's only going to come up once a year.
Okay.
And we can keep working on this. This isn't your only chance for comments or anything.
All right, does anybody have anything else to add? Do you have any other questions for us to help define what we're looking for besides pictures?
No, I think it's been helpful to hear your concerns, to know what areas need what direction and what changes. So, and I think that map or those visuals will really help flesh out the key component, as you said, Shiloh, which is the difference between small and large.
Yeah.
I do have, sorry, another question. On the removal standards, it says below ground infrastructure such as foundation utilities must be removed to a minimum depth of 36 inches below grade. I guess unless otherwise approved. Is that standard for 36 inches? I feel like.
Foundations are deeper than that.
Yeah, or utilities. I guess, is that something?
Yeah, that's standard and it is a minimum. It would
Okay.
depend on the specific
What they
site.
were. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just don't want to like take off like 3 feet and then have it's the next person's problem.
Well, there's that 125% performance guarantee with that in mind.
Okay.
And there's the site restoration section too.
All right,
I have-
any other thoughts? Anything else from staff?
Thank you for the direction.
Yeah, thank you. All right, then we will go to bylaws and rules of procedure.
This is your yearly opportunity to look at the bylaws and rules of procedure. I did not have any recommended changes this evening. If you don't have any changes, I don't need any motions to approve. If you do have changes, let me know what those are, and then you would need to approve the new bylaws and rules of procedure.
No changes for me.
Yeah, no, looks good to me.
Me too.
Good.
We are all happy with it.
Great.
So then you need nothing from us.
Correct.
All right.
We're useless.
Liaison reports. Anybody got any?
No, I feel like I'm missing a zoning one, but I know there's quite a few that were canceled for lack of stuff. I think I am missing one. I don't know why I don't have it written down.
I just suck and haven't made a DDA meeting in a couple months.
I did attend the chamber meeting last week, Chamber of Commerce. They did kind of refresh their website. So if you haven't taken a look, it's a little cleaner. They are going to be trying to work with Republica and the Neighbor Shop to have an event mid-March, kind of a wine tasting event. And then they're planning, I don't know if it's an art one or not, but Street Fest, end of July. Is that a new one?
It's a revamped chalk art fest.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Which I will still call chalk art.
Yeah, I love the
I think they're still gonna have chalk art.
I just keep getting rained on.
They moved it a week in hopes that that would help.
Yeah, it's
Because that's how
scheduled
rain
for
works.
So yeah, that was mainly it.
It reminded me, because I know for a while, the committee up here was not listed right in the zoning, or on the website, but I see that it is now, so kudos to whoever did that. I think there was some old,
That was
Just
Kim
needed to be-
Anderson.
brought up to speed.
Any more liaison? All right, well, we have a new city council liaison. It's now Dennis Hennon, who just texted me his update.
Oh, that.
He says, sorry, I'm not able to make it tonight. I had a small scheduled oral surgery this afternoon. Earlier this morning, I was at a joint press conference with the Michigan Municipal League, Michigan Township Association, and SEMCOG to oppose a package of zoning preemption bills. The changes would discard much of the work you have done with our master plan and zoning ordinance rewrite. Representatives from over 60% of the state's population has come out against this. If you haven't already, considered signing the petition I sent around earlier. That's his update. And then staff, do we have any updates from?
Just a few things, since it's been a while since we've met. I'm sure I'll miss some things. The city council did approve the next package of the zoning ordinance amendments that you all recommended approval of back in the fall. Those have been incorporated into the zoning ordinance online. They approved the first reading of a number of different things last night. I previously mentioned the noise. We're also revamping our code enforcement and municipal civil infraction procedures. Changing how we do as-built for residential grading. That was on there as well. And then several updates to the fee schedule. I think that's probably it from a staff perspective.
Okay. All right. Then, if there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned at 8:23. That moved pretty fast for 9 rezonings.